On these spaces, men always talk about the hot girl summers and how much that kind of messes with women in the long run, right? And we never really talk about the whole facade, right? Just like the whole hot girl summer thing is a facade, this whole playboy slash rotation slash hookup culture, slash playboy culture is a facade that was told to men. And I know what you're thinking, like, oh, this channel, I'm always talking about women this and attraction that. And I even wore a Playboy hat, right? In one of the videos. Granted, fine, I get it. But I never tell you guys to be a player. Being a player, quote unquote, has its dark sides. It has a very dark side to it, actually. You are going to see some things, you are going to witness some things that are going to leave you very emotionally scarred. And I know on these spaces, a lot of these quote alpha males, first of all, let me say something about that real quick. Drop the fucking act, right? Just drop the bullshit. Drop this whole I don't have emotions and I'm emotionless, right? Even though I do tell you guys to control your emotions, right? Control your emotions. That does not mean we don't have them, okay? Even though we need to be logical and transform our emotions into logic, especially when we're dealing with women, right? But with all that being said, we feel pain, we feel sadness, okay? These are human emotions. Forget man and woman, these are human emotions. And I will tell you this, okay? And quick caveat, hey, are some men built to be quote unquote players? Yeah, maybe so. I believe there is. Hell, there's some men out there that were built to be hitmen, right? The mafia, the mob cartels, they hire guys that take out people, and these people will take your life and then go to sleep with their damn sucking their thumbs, right? Sucking their thumbs and having dreams about flowers and fucking candy. You feel me? Like nothing happened. So yes, is there people that have capacity to do this? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, but I'm talking for the average guy. For the average guy, a lot of you guys, especially guys that have been in this whole quote unquote player, rotation, hookup, all this type of shit. These guys have seen some things and have experienced some things that really just put a very it leaves them very jaded. It leaves a very it leaves them very scarred. It's the shit scars you in a sense, right? And I know it's crazy that someone is actually talking like this because I'm not ashamed. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm this ultimate alpha male, right? And I just, pump and dump, all that. Those guys, let me tell you something about those guys that make that type of material. They are probably the most scarred, probably need the most therapy. I will put my fucking paycheck on that shit. I will put my paycheck that they are some of the most emotionally scarred men. I just pump and dump them. Okay. And I'm gonna talk about the dark side. But first of all, this is a Terry Talks Midnight podcast. Sit down, relax, and enjoy. You, when you participate in this nightlife, in this player lifestyle, this playboy, player, whatever you want to call it, rotation, juggling multiple women, all this shit like this, you are going to be in the nightlife. Okay. You're going to be in the nightlife and the type and what type of activities are in the night. Usually, this goes hand in hand with being a player, right? Or engaging in that player lifestyle. Drugs, alcohol, okay? And what type of women use those? Women of the night, okay? And what type of quality are those women? Probably not that great. probably not that great. And I'm no angel, I'm no saint. If I were to sit here and tell you guys that I've never partook in this type of lifestyle, I would be like, hell, I will be lying to my damn, I will be lying to myself. Okay, I'll be lying to myself. But the point is, you're going to run into some very shady characters, very shady young ladies. You're going to end up hooking up with girls that are in relationships, right? You're going to end up hooking up with young ladies with a lot of emotional baggage, with a lot of, just a lot of baggage, that they're damaged. These are the type of women that you're going to end up dealing with, and you're going to see this. You're going to see them doing things, right? You're going to see all this partying and all these crazy things in a nightlife. And this is going to make you lose, believe it or whether these players, whatever you want to call them, these Macs, whatever you want to call them, whether they want to believe it or not, they're going to, or whether they even realize it or not, they're going to lose faith in humanity. They're going to lose faith because they're dealing with these type of characters, right? They're dealing with these type of characters, and that's the type of energy. See, they live in that nightlife dark energy. And that dark energy, it's crazy how nature just correlates. They're in the night, living in the night, living in the dark. So that is exactly the type of energy that they're going to attract. Very dark energy, very just sinister type of energy. And what ends up happening to these so-called players is that they start feeling empty, right? They start running into young ladies that just want to have one night stands, and they run into young ladies in relationships. They run into young ladies that, want to do some wild shit, drugs, partying, all the whole nine yards, all of this crazy stuff. And sometimes the guy might not, he might partake in it. But subconsciously he's like, damn, is this what's going on out here? Right? Is this really what's going on out here? And hey, look, this is not preaching to y'all. This is not preaching to y'all, telling y'all, don't, hey, you got to read the Bible and just stay in it. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, this is, like I said, I've partook in this before. Hell, sometimes I still do, right? And I'm not, hey, look, I'm not ashamed. I'm human, but I know what I'm getting myself into, right? And these guys, they hook up with chick after chick, gathering dark energy after dark energy from these young ladies because, hey, believe it or not, yes, we collect women's energy too. I know you guys don't want to believe it, or that's not part of what you've been told. Why do you think a lot of these young men want to off themselves, right, when they break up with a young lady or something like that? Because they took in that energy. And that's a weak way to go, right? That's a horrible way to go, to off yourself. But that just goes to show, if energies wasn't exchanged, that wouldn't have happened in the first. He wouldn't even have had that thought. You dig what I'm saying? So you're just catching energy after energy. And like I said, the type of young lady that you're going to meet in this nightlife, in this player lifestyle, they are going to be some very devious young ladies, and they're lost too. They're doing this whole hookup culture. They're doing this whole hot girl summer. They're lost too. So they're, like I said, this is going to be part 2 of this video. They're engaging in this activity, and they're getting, they're fucking themselves up as well. Okay, but that's a different podcast, like I said. But like I was saying, dog, you're catching all this energy. And the thing about it is, you're going to have hookups. You're going to have a hookup after a hookup after a hookup. You're going to hook up with this young lady. You're going to hook up with that young. You're going to hook up with Diamond. You're going to hook up with Tierra, right? You're going to hook up with motherfucking Lacey. All these young ladies. Right? You're going to hook up with, hell, sometimes you can't even remember their name. Sometimes you don't even remember these young ladies' name. Amy. You can't even, you got to really think back what the hell her name was. But guess what? Their energy is going to stay with you, and it's going to become like a vacuous, a void rather. You're going to have, hey, look, you, like I said, man, you don't got to listen to this. You can turn this off and you can do what you want. I'm just telling you what might happen, right? You're going to have a void, meaning after you get one hookup, you're going to crave another one and another one and another, like on some DJ Khaled type of shit. You're going to keep craving it. It's never going to be enough, right? And it's not glamorous as it's, see, this is why a lot of these guys encourage rotations. You know what a rotation is? A rotation is a guy getting validation. That's a guy validating himself. Look at me. I'm juggling 3 women at one, getting sex so he can validate himself because he feels empty. He feels empty. He needs different women to validate him. Oh, I'm hooking up with her and I'm hooking up with her. But it's pretty much valid. That's pretty much validation in a nutshell. Why do you think women have rotations? Why do you think women have rotations? For validation. Their validation comes mainly in the form of attention, right? And sexuality, of course. But men, ours is straight intimacy, right? I'm not going to keep saying that word, but our validation is, hey, I smashed her and I smashed her. That's that validation. And that comes from feeling empty. It's never enough. It's never enough. As soon as he smashes one chick, he's on to the other one. And it's like an endless cycle until this quote unquote Playa is now, in his middle age, still trying to be a player. Like, it's not a way to go. If you want to do it, please have an escape plan, right? At least have an escape plan. At least have some kind of long-term plan. Because, you is not finna be a 60-year-old player. I mean, look, I know a lot of these spaces, you don't hit your peak until you're 70 years old. And, look, man, all that player stuff, look, that's gonna get played. Time is very ruthless. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video podcast, man. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.